Hello everybody and welcome back to City Skylines 2, where our advanced pumping station doesn't have a power line, and of course it doesn't. Why would it have a power line? We didn't put one in, so we should probably do that. I'm just going to do an underground power line right along here, and we'll just connect it in to here. That should solve that problem. Fantastic. Now we are definitely seeing a slowdown over here. I'm just keeping an eye on this. It should be done quite soon. Yeah, looks good. Yep, no problem whatsoever there. Now what do we have going on here? Well, I think that this is a pretty obvious case of... Well, I'm actually just thinking about how I want to handle this. Because this exists to have a dedicated merge lane over here, right? And then we've got this over here. It's about a 50-50 of people going this way and people wanting to go straight ahead. Of course, there's no route to go this way as of right now. So my question is, why do we have the roundabout here at all? We can simply knock this back a little bit, and maybe a little further than this, actually. Yeah, to about here. And then bring this guy down to be right on the ground about... Ooh, that slope too steep there? Huh. Mildly remarkable. It's only a 3% grade. Slope too steep at a 0.1% grade. Okay, I don't think that's actually true. Let's try building it in this direction. Yeah, this works just fine. Okay, it just wanted to do this kind of awkwardly. That's okay. So then we're just going to bring this through. There's a pillar there, isn't there? Yes, there is. So now we're going to have to remove that, and then we bring this guy through to about here. Perfect. And then we bring this up to here. I'm going to leave this as it is because I do want those dedicated turn lanes. That said, we may actually want to expand this a little bit to be about here or so. So we now have a dedicated exit lane. It's a shared exit lane, I suppose, but a similar sort of situation, right? So then this would end up coming out over here and merging in down this way, about like that. And then we do the same thing up over here. We may end up giving this a dedicated merge lane if that becomes a problem. I'm not convinced that it will. But we can just do something about like that. Of course, we do not want to have this crosswalk here. And we also do not want to have a controlled intersection here. Oh, this didn't actually merge up on top. That should be dealt with. So we'll get that in about... there. That's more like it. And we'll forbid left-hand turns here. Forbidding a left-hand turn here. And one here. Broadly, this looks okay, though, at this point. Yeah. So we'll just let that go. That should clean this up relatively. Almost everyone is attempting to go south here or go this way, right? And this should clean it up quite tremendously. The next question is, do we want to have dedicated lanes out over here? It's unfortunate that the dedicated lanes require a slowdown, but they absolutely do. So that would end up being, you know, something approximately like this. So now we have a dedicated turn lane and two dedicated through lanes. And that should be relatively okay. Now, what if you're going here and you want to take a left-hand turn and exit up here? Well, that's obviously going to be a problem. And I think your best bet would be to take this exit and go down this direction. And then from here... Okay, yeah, I don't know how they're supposed to do that. I think there's not really a good path for it. The good path for it would probably actually be go over to the roundabout here, go around, and turn around here and exit this way. That would be the quote-unquote correct path. I don't know how much of that we're actually going to see happening, though. So we'll let this run for a little bit, and we'll see. Why are you parked here? Oh, this is a controlled intersection. Okay, this should not be. This is a dedicated lane. You do not need to have a stop sign or stoplight there. Okay, the rest of these are all good, correct? Correct. There's no dedicated lane here. I'm not sure there needs to be. This highway does not really go anywhere except like down here, right? So for the time being, that's probably relatively okay. What are you? You're a fire engine. Okay. Noted. So yeah, I don't really like the fact that there's a significant speed... Oh, hang on. Crosswalk here. I don't like the fact that there's a significant speed difference between the 6-lane road and the 4-lane highway. I wish that there were larger highways. Well, actually... Okay. I've been thinking about this, right? I wish that the way that the roads in this game were made were structured substantially differently from what they are, and also structured substantially differently from the way that they are in Cities Skylines 1. Here is the way that I would like these roads to be implemented. And we're going to delete this, but I'm just going to do this as an illustration. So we would build a road coming out this way, right? And this road would not consist of this lane. It would consist only of a road core, and maybe like one lane going each direction, for example, right? For like a basic sort of road. Then you can control the speed limit of the road via a tool similar to these. And you could set this to be 80, you could set it to be 100, you know, whatever. If it's too high, that can generate more accidents. That would be fine. Then what you do is you have a lane tool. And it would work kind of like this, where you have your road core here, right? And it doesn't have any lanes attached to it, perhaps, by the time you build it. And then you would look to attach your lane, and you can attach your lane kind of like this, right? So this goes from 1 lane to 2, and you can attach it in either side. The side of it could control the direction, or it could be a one-way road. But that would be what I would like to see, where you can just, from the core, you can attach an arbitrary side or an arbitrary number of lanes to each quote-unquote side of the road, and that would determine the directionality of the lane. The side could go either direction. So you could have a one-way road if they're both going the same way, or a two-way road if they're going opposite directions, right? And then you could just add on lanes as you needed them and just expand it out until you have like a 36-lane road. That would be how I would prefer to see the roads work in this game. Obviously, they don't work that way. That's all just wishful thinking. But that's how I would like to see them work. It would be amazing to just be able to come in here and just be like, okay, we're going to plop in a dedicated turn lane here without changing anything related to the road other than just slapping in an extra lane. That would be so good. I really wish it worked that way. Unfortunately, it doesn't, and there's probably significant technical reasons for why it can't. To be honest, there probably is. But obviously, this has cleaned up the traffic jam out over this way. So what else do we have going on? Well, we don't have a lot of demand right now. Our demand is relatively satiated. So that's looking good. We are growing relatively quickly here, but we don't need to expand out over here just yet. It is the middle of the night, so if we were going to do that, I would probably look to turn off the night effect, but for now, this is okay. Let's bump it up to speed 3. I can't believe I didn't do that already. I thought we were on speed 3, but whatever. Any other traffic issues going on anywhere? It's getting late, so I would expect that to not be a thing until morning. And that does indeed appear to be the case right now. But yeah, if you're up over here and you're wanting to go left here, your only real option is to take the roundabout. So maybe what we should end up doing is, in situations like this, right? We just have it alternate between overpass and roundabout. So that way we have about half the number of roundabouts in which things can get bogged down. But they can still get turned around and do left-hand turns. Because this design of overpass is very compact, but it doesn't really allow you to effectively take a left-hand turn. If you're here and you're wanting to go here, going in the western direction, how do you do that? Well, the answer is... Why is everything moving so slow? Okay. Well, the answer is you would want to come up over this direction, exit onto the highway, come out to the next roundabout, turn around, and then you're going the right direction. That's not efficient, right? And we can definitely come up with a better overpass model. There might even be one that would be functional here. So, I mean, there's like this trumpet roundabout here. That's not really what we're looking for. Low traffic capacity, but you can see the size on these. Like, the cloverleaf is just absolutely huge, right? And this is not really what we're going for. We would definitely need much, much smaller setups. No doubt about that. So that's all well and good. Now, we do have access to a new signature building here. This is the fuel plant. And I want to put the fuel plant about right here. It'll produce additional pollution. It doesn't cost us anything to build. But what it does, remarkably, is it reduces our industrial ground and air pollution citywide by 5% and increases our industrial efficiency. It does itself produce a fair amount of pollution. So that's all fine. We also have access to the Molari place, plus 7 well-being within 2 kilometers. So we could put that somewhere out over like here. Although we'd probably want it to be a little bit more in from where the city is, or from where the city limits are. So about here or so. Okay, so that'll improve well-being in this area. That seems absolutely fine for the moment. I want to check in on some of these abandonments out over here. I expect these to just be noise complaints. Yeah. So these are just noise. That's not shocking. And we can get rid of these abandoned structures without any real problem. They'll get rebuilt, and they may or may not have the noise complaint again. The noise appears to be just kind of random. I'm not sure what causes it. It's just there. It would make sense if it was like emanating from the highways, but it's not, so I'm not sure. I do see all of that traffic going northbound on the highway there, and the question is that going to cause an issue up over this way? Currently, it's moving reasonably fine. The question being, where is all this traffic going? Well, currently, we don't have a solid answer to that, but so far, they're just passing on through the city. Okay. This is underneath the highway here in an awkward place. That one. There we go. So there is a fair amount of traffic on this highway, right? It looks like a lot of it is being caused by our road maintenance vehicle here. Fair enough. Out of curiosity, why does this go down to 2 lanes? Is there a reason for this to go down to 2 lanes? I don't think there is. I think it just never got upgraded. So it would just be something kind of like that. It would retain 3 lanes until one of them becomes a dedicated turn lane. Kind of like that. So that looks good. There's a fair amount of road maintenance vehicles on the highway right now, just causing general slowdowns. So that seems okay for now. I don't love this that we've got here. I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to rerun this section here to be about like that. And now I don't love what we've got going on here, but I guess it's okay. Sure. That'll be fine for now. Now, this section over here is in much the same state, right? Where this really doesn't need to go down to 3 lanes. Or go down to 2 lanes. This can retain 3-lane structures throughout this area. So that's okay. Arguably the same thing here, but this does go to the bridge, so I think having this merge down to 2 lanes does make sense with the bridge there. Yeah, that'll be fine for now. We'll just give them a little bit more space to merge over. So that seems okay. Out over this direction, this should all be 3-lane out this way, and that's absolutely fine. I don't want this to be any other number of lanes. This is merging from 4 lanes, which is actually correct here, down to 2 lanes, which we may want to have this merge to 3 first. Something kind of like that. And then we can't have that be 3-lane yet. But this can go up to 3-lane here. So that would be relatively fine. So this 4th lane merges in, and then the 3rd lane merges in here, and that goes down to 2 lanes. Okay, so up over this direction was where we had the problems with the lane count previously. Have we gotten all of this good to go at this point? This can go down to 2 lane in this area. So this would go down to 2 lane right there. And then this would go down to 2 lane there until it develops a 3rd lane. That's reasonably fine. What other lane issues do we have here? This goes down to 2 lane until that 3rd lane comes in. So that would go about there. And this would go down to 2 lane here. Just like that. So that's a dedicated turn lane now. Sounds good. This will need to go down to 2 lanes here, but then is good there. Yep. Dedicated turn lanes seem relatively okay there. This goes down to 2 lanes up here. Kind of like that. It's a little awkward, but it'll do. This goes down to 2 lanes right here, and then goes back up to 3 shortly thereafter, but something along the lines of that. Okay, accidents here, noted, and this is just an overpass. And that looks relatively correct. So this traffic jam here is caused by this accident. What do we have going on for the accident? We've got a police car here. It's all in this lane. So the core problem here, of course, is that this lane is shut down, right? And I feel like our pathfinding is not doing a great job of dealing with that. But the police officer has managed to properly arrive now and get promptly driven through. That seems very legal. But this traffic jam is an organic one. This is not caused by the design of the road, it's caused by accidents. So that is reasonably fine. I'm not too concerned about that. This is fairly normal at this point. So that looks good. What other issues do we potentially have with our traffic? Well, I don't think there are any major ones. Oh, hello. What's going on here? Interesting. This is being flagged as a traffic jam, but not in this direction. So again, this is one of those points when I would argue that the correct call here would be to knock these highways back and create an overpass situation. This is not going to be efficient for left-hand turns. They'll have to go to a different roundabout, and I'm sure they won't be happy about that, but you know, it'll be fine. Okay, let's lock this to angle snapping and put that about there. Bringing this through. Of course, there's a pillar there. Knocking that back. Angle snap only. Putting this about here, and then bringing it up to merge in somewhere like this. Okay, there we go. Now, of course, this highway will have to be run over top. Just like that. And then we'll do some real quick interchangey stuff. This should be in curve tool. That would be absolutely helpful. So this would come up somewhere around here. And this would go down somewhere around here. Coming up about here or so, and coming down about here or so. Not great for left-hand turns, to be sure, but it will help this traffic clear up quite a lot. So no left turn here, no left turn here, no left turn here, no left turn in any of these. Thank you very much. Left turns are the bane of everyone's existence. That's how this works, I'm sure. Okay, so we'll let that traffic get sorted. And now through traffic will be much better. Left-hand turn traffic will be slightly impeded. And right-hand turn traffic will be much better. Overall, this should be a broad improvement once everybody gets turned around and figures out their new pathfinding. Yeah. Oh, there's left-hand turns happening here. We do not want left-hand turns happening here. No left, no left. Hello, pause menu. Okay, so that's all looking good. There are left turns here as well, potentially, and we want to get rid of those. Of course, that does further delay people who want to go left at this highway interchange, and they're just going to have to pathfind a different route, is the answer. That's the only answer there. It's not going to be great. There's left-hand turns impeding traffic here. Nope. No lefts allowed. You're going straight. Excellent. Cool. This is all looking okay. This roundabout is running into a few issues, but this is mostly because we're clearing out this. So as that gets cleared, it should be okay. And there's these road maintenance vehicles slowing everybody down. But that's all fine. They'll get out of there soon enough.
Please exercise caution if you must drive,
looks good.
And try to stay off the streets.
So this is definitely somewhat cleaned up. There's a lot of people exiting here.
What kind of future
and I'm wondering if they're doing that.
Well,
oh, they're doing that because they want to exit here, come up here, and then on-ramp here. That would be a decent way to take a left-hand turn there, I suppose. It might end up overloading some of these side streets, and we'll keep an eye on that. If that does happen, we will come up with a solution for it. What that solution will be, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Well, no.
So that's okay for now. Any other major issues? Well, we still have the traffic jam down over here. But broadly, that looks like that's the only one. The accident down here has been cleaned up, it looks like. So that's good. These guys are all behind this road maintenance vehicle. Okay. Well, that's the core problem there. The road maintenance vehicle is very slow and is slowing down everybody. That said, now that it's out of here, it should have... Well, there are 2 lanes, so people should be able to get around it now. And here comes another road maintenance vehicle. Perfect. So, taking a look at this, my question is... what's the percentage of people attempting to take this exit? And the answer is high. Do we want to have another lane of traffic going up this direction? So what that would end up looking like is a second lane right up over here. Like this. That gives us overlapping items right in this area due to a pillar issue. So we would end up having to take this out and instead bringing in our second lane up over this direction, right? And that's a pillar issue, but we could bring it in about there. So now what we would end up wanting to do is bringing this up to be a 4-lane one-way highway and have a second dedicated lane for that. So this would end up being something kind of like this. So this becomes a dedicated turn lane, and this also becomes a dedicated turn lane. So now we have 2 lanes for that. We're not going to have a lot of merge issue here, I suspect, because not a lot of people are driving down to go to this roundabout, right? So this is just going to directly result in people wanting to come over to the Underhill Highway going eastward. And that also means that this roundabout shouldn't cause an enormous slowdown because we're not going to have multiple directions of traffic here. But this also means that there's absolutely no reason to have a roundabout when we can just have this bend. For now, that will change once this area gets developed. But for the moment, we can just have this highway going straight like this. So it's just going to be a turn in the highway rather than a roundabout, because it's functionally the same thing and will result in smoother traffic flow. So that should be good. That allows us more throughput in this area for our traffic. No issues there. And of course, we're going to need to work through that a little bit, but traffic should definitely be moving at a much higher clip now. This looks pretty decent as far as traffic movements go. Then we're running into an issue here. Right. Everybody wants to come out this direction, but the problem here is actually the road maintenance vehicle. So that's not really something that we need to deal with. Once the road maintenance vehicle gets up over here, this should start to clean up on this side. But that's the issue there, 100%. So that looks reasonably fine. We're now seeing a lot more traffic throughput over this way, and having 2 dedicated turn lanes over here does buy us a lot of additional traffic throughput in this area. So that looks reasonably fine. We've still got a bit of an issue down here, and this is backed up a wee bit. No doubt about it, so it'll take some time for that to get worked through. But that road maintenance vehicle was causing a huge amount of problems there. But now that we are through this, we should start to see this traffic really start to move. Can we get this up to 2 lanes? Should we? This bypass is super janky, as it is. But this bypass specifically exists for all of this freight that's coming in. That is why it is here. And arguably, bringing it up to 2 lanes might be useful, but they're still going to want to turn from 1 lane. Unless, well, we could certainly think about bringing it up to 2 like this. Like that. Then this merges in like this, which is not ideal, but what we end up doing from there is bringing this over into being a like 6-lane road right here. So that gives us something like that, and then we can merge these together. We can certainly have this be 6-lane up to like here. Remove this crosswalk. No thank you on that. Remove these crosswalks as well. And this over here is supposed to be highway, is it not? Correct. Okay, so that's all fine. That gives us a dedicated merge, 2 dedicated merge lanes here. Then we're going to need dedicated merge lanes out this way as well, right? And what that ends up looking like is something more akin to this. So now we have 2 lanes that we can move this through with. And we do not want to have controlled intersections here. There we go. Do we have controlled intersections here? We shouldn't. Okay. So it would end up being something kind of like that. So that'll give us more throughput on this northerly route. I'm not entirely sure why this guy's just sitting here. There you go. Get going. You have a dedicated through lane there, so it should be absolutely fine. No problem whatsoever there. Now the question is, are we going to see these people actually using multiple lanes? And the answer is yes, so that should help us cruise through here. We've now got a dedicated through lane, which probably will see very little use. And then we've got 2 dedicated turn lanes, although they can go straight in this lane as well. So we'll see how that ends up going. But that should help clear out some of this and just get this traffic moving. Yeah, this looks reasonably fine for the moment. We definitely have a lot of traffic trying to come in here, but we've increased our throughput on that quite a lot. But there's definitely a pretty decent jam on the in-road on the Dale Highway. No doubt about that. But I think we're broadly okay. All of these people coming in on the Glade Highway are kind of ruining it, to be honest. Because they're getting... Yeah, they're getting the right-of-way here. How would we want to solve that? They just kind of keep coming. And that's, of course, creating a huge backup here. No doubt about that one. Yeah, this traffic just keeps on coming. And this garbage truck is not being very aggressive here. Can we make it so that this only has a stop sign? Like, I don't want to have a stop sign. I don't want to have a stop sign here. That's not where I want one. I don't want one here either. I want one only here. And I don't think that that's really an option. Which is sad. Okay, garbage truck. Get going. There you go. Okay, we have a new signature building available. That's reasonably fine. Wait a sec. Is this traffic lighted? It is traffic lighted right now. Okay, I don't necessarily want a traffic light here either. I want this to yield, specifically. But yet this lane is currently open, but I guess that's a turn-only lane, and that's why this is happening. So how do we want to solve this? This is a complicated one. There isn't a super easy solution to this. That said, there probably is, and I'm just missing it. So I'm going to take a break here, and next episode, we're going to tackle this situation, and we'll see what I come up with. Should be interesting. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Kentogan, Ali Lee, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time. Also, I think there's a left-hand turn here that I need to get rid of.